In the central energy, for the collective, in the central energy, we've got the Empress here. Empress. Divine nurturer, abundant, loving, moving forward. So there's a challenge of moving forward, continuing on your path, making preparations for these opportunities. Overseas, perhaps. In the subconscious, you could have love. You might be feeling sentimental. You might be dreaming of a new love or the possibility of it. In the recent past, we've got the King of Wands, overcoming challenges. In the intentions and expectations, conflict, rivalry, some sort of a disagreement, some sort of an argument in the near future. High priestess, high priestess. Divine wisdom. In the lens it's being looked through, King of Cups. Emotionally balanced. Love of divine masculine. In the environment, whoa, Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. Somebody made a bad investment and missed their chance. Lost their opportunity. Hopes and fears. Queen of Swords. Clear-minded. Clear-minded, clear boundaries. And the outcome. The Eight of Pentacles. Oh. Apprenticeship. Working hard at something. You may be learning a new skill. Hard work and a routine investment brings you the Chariot, brings you a victory. You are protected. It could be that you're maintaining control of the Ten of Cups. And the Star has a victory here. Eee. All right, so you maintain control, you're protected. The Star has a victory over this fraud and over this illusion caused by a Knight of Cups who is in a nightmare. So, the Empress is here. Oh boy, we got the Hanged Man in the upright. Release. Sacrifice. She's making a sacrifice. She's letting something go. She's moving forward in an enterprise. Could be an overseas thing. She may be an influencer. Moving forward, moving forward. manifesting something. There is a page of cups here. You're listening to your heart. There may be some kind of romantic. Oh, look at that. Devil reversed. Freedom. You're listening to your heart about love. You're letting go of this devil. Don't want nothing to do with that devil. Could be the devil's getting let go, released. You're restoring control from that devil. King of Wands in the recent past. Nostalgia. Looking at the history. Overcoming challenges of the past. And there's conflict here. Competition. What the heck is all this about, man? Oh, somebody's in despair over this conflict. They can't sleep. They're having a trauma. We've got the High Priestess here in the near future. Divinely connected. Whoo! And we got divorce. Somebody is in grief. The High Priestess is out here in the near future. Somebody's in grief. They're in sorrow by this. They're bringing sorrow. There could be a High Priestess in sorrow? No, I think somebody's in sorrow that the High Priestess is connected here. And showing up in the near future. Somebody's in grief. They're getting cut out of her life. You got the King of Cups and the King of Pentacles here. So the love of the Divine Masculine, the wealth of the Divine Masculine. Somebody's got an Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. They made a bad investment. King of Swords. King of Swords. Lack of foresight. Somebody made a bad investment. The King of Swords is here with clarity regarding that. The Queen of Swords is there also with mental clarity. And we've got disappointment. Somebody's disappointed that the Queen of Swords has got clear boundaries. We've got hard work, working with high standards. Let's see here. Hard work and routine hard work brings you a victory. With your Chariot, you're moving forward again, making an entry. Oh, the Lovers. And the Emperor. Strength of two together. The Emperor is here with someone. The Empress is here releasing some stuff. And we got the Strength of two together here with the Emperor giving generously. Someone's in regret here. There could be at a crossroads. Knight of Swords, yeah, trying to defend their beliefs. They want to get into the fruits of your labor. Or they're experiencing the fruits of their labor, this wacky, nasty crap that they've been up to. The law of cause and effect. What you put out is what you get back. If what you did was screw over people over and over and over, getting one over on somebody, if you did that thousands of times, then I guess that's coming back thousands of times. I'm going to do this one too. So, the Empress is here. Evolution, abundance, accomplishment, letting stuff go, releasing, release, manifesting some kind of an enterprise, an overseas opportunity. And we got battle ready. Standing up for yourself. She's letting stuff go. She's standing up for herself. She's getting assertive. She's like, out of my way. Making a release. She's got the Three of Wands here, moving forward with some kind of an enterprise, manifesting something. Creating something. Ten of Swords in the reverse. Surviving. Releasing this Ten of Swords. Overcoming some sort of crap. Regarding this Page of Cups reversed. Obsession. So there could be mistrust here. Ten of Swords. Yeah, overcoming some kind of a betrayal. Overcoming some kind of a betrayal. Escaping ruin. You've got this Page of Cups, you know. Crush. Immaturity. You've got this vain, immature person here. You could be overcoming vain immaturity. You're manifesting a change. Page of Cups is in the upright here is what you're thinking about. And you've got your freedom from that. Restoring control. Overcoming this, this betrayal. This vain, immature betrayal of a Page of Cups reversed. Page of Cups in the upright is the Devil reversed. You're getting detached from this devilish energy. You got your freedom from this stuff. And you've got a new beginning. Ace of Wands. So you're restoring control, and this is a new beginning. You're battle ready. You're like standing up for yourself. And nothing's touching you. They're all down there swearing, angry. Look at all these little expletives between those little wands there. You got the mad faces, and you got the little hashtag and the little question mark and all that good stuff. People are cussing. People are mad. They want to hit you with their wand, and you're just letting them go. You're like, King of Wands is here, overcoming challenges of the past. Three of Wands reversed. So the King of Wands is overcoming challenges of historical delays in their opportunities. There's been a lot of conflict here regarding this King of Wands stuff, and whoever that is, they're having a nightmare right now. They were trying to delay this King of Wands coming into his destiny. 10 of Wands reversed. So he's learned to say no. He's not carrying the burden for somebody anymore. They're in a nightmare because he's saying no, no, no. He's closed off. The High Priestess is here. Somebody's suffering a heartbreak. They're getting divorced out of the High Priestess's energy. 5 of Swords, defeat. Somebody's been defeated by the High Priestess. They're getting divorced out of the High Priestess's energy because they're abusive and bringing conflict. 5 of Wands, 5 of Swords. King of Wands is over there. Look, man, we got a bunch of stuff. You got the King of Cups, King of Pentacles, and the Emperor. Huh. got all these divine masculines are out here dealing with these pages and these devils. You got the Empress letting stuff go, battle ready. And you got the High Priestess here causing heartbreak for these people who have been abusive. They've been defeated. They lost their opportunity. They made a bad investment. And the King of Swords is here, disciplined. He has mental clarity regarding that. Two of Swords reversed. He's seeing the truth. He sees the truth. Somebody missed their opportunity. The Queen of Swords is here, also clear-minded. Leaving something behind. Somebody's disappointed that the Queen of Swords is here communicating very clearly. They're walking away. They could have extreme regret. She's calling judgment, and somebody's very disappointed. You're working with high standards, and you got your Chariot here, your forward momentum. You're a departure. And the King of Wands, again, optimistic and loyal. And the Devil is here, feeling trapped. The Devil is here feeling trapped. Why? Because the Queen of Swords knows the truth, and the Wheel of Fortune has turned. This is the turning point. The Wheel of Fortune. We got a Knight of Wands here coming in, being charming. But you're healing, you're sitting here recuperating, but we do have the Lovers here and romance. So this Knight of Swords, though, is trying to be a hero, getting very impatient. They got the Eight of Cups. Yeah, so they failed to do whatever they wanted to do, and they're in a Four of Pentacles energy. They're a greedy, little possessive hoarder, and yeah. This is amazing. King of Wands, King of Swords, King of Pentacles, King of Cups, Emperor, High Priestess, Empress, King of Wands. Toby's panting. He just came in from outside. So the Empress is here letting go of something. She's releasing some stuff. She could be seeing things from a new perspective. Battle ready, standing up for herself. Somebody's intrigued. They want to learn more. She's being assertive, taking the high ground. Challenged. Moving forward, there's an enterprise. Could be overseas, manifesting something, overcoming defeat, overcoming defeat, surviving, escaping ruin that these immature, obsessed people tried to bring about for her. There's the grapevine. People may be talking about it. Page of Cups is a devil, man, and you've got your freedom because the devil's reversed, so you're restoring control. You got your freedom from this love puppet or whatever. You got a new beginning, an enthusiastic, whoa, new beginning. You've got an enthusiastic new beginning. And these people are desperate. Somebody's desperate. They're in a bind. They're in a bind because you have grown here. you know, and they're very greedy and they need a safe space. So they have a hostile attitude toward you. You're the gift, and they want to get a date night here. Just so beware. They're desperate. They're desperate to trick your love. They want to apologize for a tribe, but they want revenge. So they need to reconnect. They're trying to get into your energy. And they've been talking, will you recognize her? Will you recognize her? So you got some stalkers out there. Definitely use discernment and the benefit of time should anybody approach you. King of Wands is here, overcoming challenges of history, of memories, and he is closed off. These people have been trying to delay his opportunity. We got, I'm sorry. We've got an apology. Somebody wants to apologize for delaying his opportunity with this conflict. They're in a nightmare because he has said no. He's learned to say no. He's not carrying this anymore. Look, somebody wants a date. Somebody wants a date. There could be a date for something. There might be somebody going on a date. He said no to a date. There's no date. He has learned to say no. He's learned to say no. This could be somebody who's a very passionate person who has learned to say no to those people who want to connect in order to block their opportunity, block his opportunity. He's learned to say no. Somebody's in a freaking nightmare because he won't go out on a date with them. High Priestess is here. Somebody's divorced out of this High Priestess's energy. They're defeated. They're abusive. They're in resentment. Growth. They're resenting your growth. They don't get to participate in your growth. King of Cups, King of Pentacles, and the Emperor. We got entertainment. Something's amusing. Somebody lost their opportunity. They made a bad investment. The King of Swords knows the truth, has mental clarity. He sees the truth here. His intentions are pure. He wants to improve your life. Queen of Swords here, clear-minded, clear boundaries, and somebody's disappointed, walking away. They're in extreme regret. Unfriendly. They're being hostile. It could be there's a Queen of Swords who's in disappointment and extreme regret, who's feeling hostile. Maybe there's this King of Swords lost their opportunity and is overthinking. You can look at that in a couple of different ways. We've got some hard work and high standards here. You're in your chariot and you're moving forward. That's the King of Wands. Obligation. You're a nuisance and I feel obligated to associate with you. He might feel somebody is a nuisance and he feels obligated to associate with them. We've got yelling. Something's negative. Somebody's hiding their intentions. We've got yelling. We've got an argument here. We've got great news. And then we've got bad news. Somebody is greedy and they need a safe space. They want to bring chaos to the gift, to you. They're uncertain because you're uninterested in reconnection. Yeah, this tribe wants revenge, so they're going to come forward and try to work out an apology, but it's just there's an attempt to get an opportunity to seek revenge. They're very upset that they've been cut out of this High Priestess's energy, this Empress's energy. She was the one who made their life so pleasurable, you know, look, snack. The Empress is releasing these people. She's taking the high ground. She's looking out for herself. We've got some trauma bonded people who are curious. They want to learn more about how she defended herself. Three of Wands oversees opportunity to manifest, overcoming defeat, overcoming some kind of, surviving some kind of bull crap. This trauma bond, this Empress trauma bond, she's releasing, she's standing up for herself. It could be that she has overcome some kind of a trauma bond. People want to know more. It could be worldwide, like maybe people are interested in how she manifested or used her willpower to overcome, to survive this crap, this obsession, this obsessed, immature vanity crap. People are talking about it. Could be somebody wants to know, how did you get out of that? How do you do it? How do you manage it? How do you survive these vain people? People are gossiping. People are gossiping about this empath. This Page of Cups is curious. Might be trying to send a message. We've got releasing limiting beliefs with the Devil reversed. You've got your freedom. You're restoring control here. You've got a new beginning. Somebody is desperate because you've got a new beginning. You've overcome this trauma bond. Somebody's desperate that you're not triggered. Somebody's desperate because you're not triggered. King of Wands here, overcoming challenges of the history of having his opportunities delayed. This vampire wants to say they're sorry. The vampire is sorry. We've got the Five of Wands here, conflict and competition. So they're sorry for this conflict and competition. They're in anxiety. They're having a nightmare because this King of Wands won't date them. He's learned to say no to dates. He's learned to stop being a lustful person. He's learned to say no to the vampire. Feral. He's learned to say no. He's managing his instincts. High Priestess is here. Somebody's getting an emotional pain because they're in a defeat. There's growth. There could be a growth. Oh, High Priestess is telling somebody to get effed. She's divorcing them right out of the energy, and she's like, get effed. Somebody's like, I see something inside of you I admire. I would like to learn more. And she's like, Bafangu. Get out of here, Jack. King of Cups. He's the love of the divine masculine. He's emotionally balanced. He's empathic. There is a King of Pentacles, wealthy, an abundant businessman. The Emperor, who is the authority figure, a father figure. Entertainment. We've got entertainment. Bitch. Are they dealing with this bitch who is finding it entertaining to try to F with you? Love and gaslight. Love bomb and gaslight. They might be dealing with a privileged cult leader, love bombing, gaslighting bitch who does it for entertainment. Somebody lost their opportunity. The King of Swords is here. He knows the truth about something. He's got positive intentions, and we got a simp. There could be a simp here who is positive. There may be like a positive kind of test. Doing the most for somebody who cares the least. There could be, well, there's inner turmoil. Lost their opportunity, made a bad investment. King of Swords. Being honest, seeing the truth about a simp that's got something positive. Queen of Swords, disappointed, facing fear. There could be extreme regret. Somebody's got a hostile attitude. There is a legend in the reverse. Hard work, high standards got you the Chariot here, King of Wands. We've got obligated to deal with you. You're a nuisance, but I feel obligated. We've got ignoring the red flags. Somebody who feels obligated to deal with you, ignoring the red flags. Somebody's moving on this King of Wands. Shadow demon. A jealous, narcissist shadow demon. Ignoring the red flags, trying to move on this King of Wands. Somebody wants to love bomb and gaslight this starseed so that they can have a billionaire status of privilege. Yeah, a cult leader. A cult leader spreading conspiracy theories about an oracle. This fashion witch, this troll fashion witch, getting told to stay in her own damn lane when it comes to this influencer who takes care of themselves. This person, it may be announced, this person is a snack. They've been feasting, doing the least for the most. Maybe, yeah, this unicorn is getting the land back. So, you know, and they don't think, this shadow demon doesn't think that they're going to last very long, but that's because they have plans to continue with this malarkey. This is what they are, and they think that they're going to get the opportunity to continue in this behavior. The Empress is here releasing stuff, making a change here, standing up for themselves. This is a trauma bond survivor. Somebody's curious. They want to learn more. Look, we've got a mask wearer. So there could be a trauma bonded mask wearer who's trying to get in to learn something about whatever this Empress has got going on, but she's standing up for herself. There's an overseas opportunity, a manifestation. You survived this immature obsession from these vain people. People are talking about this empath. The fact that you can see. You're having sweet dreams. You're comfortable. It could be that you have new love on its way here. Restoring control. The devil is in the reverse. You're going on an adventure. You got a new beginning. You're not triggered. Somebody is desperate because you're not triggered. And that means that they got stuff going on in their head. They're very stubborn. They're very desperate. They're getting a little nutty in the cabeza. King of Wands, overcome challenges of the history. His opportunity was delayed, and this vampire wants to say, I'm sorry. And they're sorry because they're experiencing a loss. We've got conflict here. They were in conflict, and they're desperate. They're having a nightmare because this King of Wands has learned to say no to dates. He's not feral anymore. He can manage himself. He's in control of himself. Somebody's protesting that he won't date them. They're upset. That's a man and a woman. So third-party enemies are protesting that he won't go out on a date. We got the High Priestess here. Somebody's having a heartbreak over a defeat. And they're trying to get in there and say, I admire you. I want to learn more. And she's saying, get effed. Get the F out of my out of my energy. There's no fright. There's no paranoia. Get out of here. King of Cups, King of Pentacles, and the Emperor are dealing with this bitch. Entertainment. Merit, a good moral human. This bitch who was coming after a good moral human for entertainment. She was telling stories, entertaining stories about what she was doing to somebody who was a good moral human. So you got these three guys that are dealing with this stuff, but you got this lost opportunity, missed chance. This King of Swords might be overthinking with the Two of Swords in the reverse. He might be seeing the truth regarding a simp who does the most for somebody who cares the least. There's something that's positive here. He might want to, actually, you know what? It sounds like this King of Swords wants to improve the life of a simp. Somebody who does the least for somebody, or somebody who does the most for somebody who cares the least. He doesn't know what to do with the simp. He's saying the truth about somebody. Somebody is a simp. We got natural disaster. It could be that this King of Swords is a simp. Take it as it resonates. Queen of Swords in disappointment. Extreme regret. Hostile. They're not seen as a legend. They couldn't take down a legend. They're being rejected for a reunion. Or they're being rejected out of the memory. They're rejecting memory. They're being withdrawn from memory. Ooh, are they being erased from history? They're not a legend. Are they being erased from history? Your hard work with high standards gets you this Chariot, King of Wands. We've got somebody obligated to, they think you're a nuisance, but they feel obligated to work with you, or you feel that way about somebody. You're ignoring the red flags. We've got schedule here. Somebody's ignoring the red flags. Or maybe there aren't any red flags. Somebody's stressed out about because their robbery attempt has been stopped. They're sick about your real estate and your business and your union. You're high value, you're a sweetheart, and you have gained. So this is the conclusion of that. And somebody is feeling overwhelmed and they want to apologize for trying to dominate you. You persevered, and because you did, these prideful people are getting separated. They're being cast away. They could be losing their home. Why? Because they cursed you. Their curses are coming back. They're in danger. They curse them damn selves. You're getting mercy. You're getting shown. The Most High is lifting you out of here. You're coming up on an adventure of eternal love. Huh. Yeah. There's evidence here that you were alone in your imagination and your mind. Somebody's furious about your vow. They're being confined for what they did to it or tried to do to it. They did not want you coming together with whoever it is you're coming together with, and they are upset. They failed at their mission. They failed at their mission. So there's a trauma bond here, a mask-wearing, trauma-bonded person that is curious and wants to learn more, but you're standing up for yourself against these people, Empress. They're afraid. So you're standing up for yourself. You're releasing these people. You're letting them go. Trauma-bonded, mask-wearer, curious, wants to learn more about you. They want to pretend to be you. But they are inconsistent. They want to learn more so that they can wear a mask as you. So they got to get in your energy and learn from you. We've got doubt. Mask wearer is in doubt. You have doubt for this mask wearer. You're releasing them. Overseas opportunity manifestation. You survived this crapola. You survived from these immature, vain, obsessed people. People are talking about this empath. Having sweet dreams, being comfortable, at peace, full of gratitude. Page of Cups is here. Could be a happy surprise, a happy new love. You've got freedom and you're restoring control here, Empress. You've got a new beginning. Somebody's desperate because you're not triggered. They're nutty in the head. Death. So they're nutty in the head. There could be death here. I mean, this mask wearer is having doubt. They're trauma bonded to somebody. You overcame this vanity. They're desperate because you're not triggered. They can't drive your emotional body or your mental body. Not for too long anyway. King of Wands, overcoming challenges of the past. His opportunities have been delayed. This vampire wants to apologize because they're experiencing losses or they're feeling the loss of their pet. This vampire, freaking incubus or succubus, whatever. Discipline. Yeah. So they've lost because of your discipline. You can accomplish whatever you set your mind to. So they were in competition or they were in bringing conflict to you and now they're in conflict. They're having a nightmare because you're saying no to a date. You're not dating anybody. So they can't get your semen. You've learned to control your urges. Somebody's protesting. They can't get your fluids or they can't get in your energy in order to bind you and delay you because you've managed your urges. High priestess is here and somebody's suffering a defeat. They're trying to get in there and grow. She's telling them to get effed. She's not afraid anymore. She's in denial. She's like, you get out. Deny, 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 nine, nine. Get out. Nine. Oh, I wonder if that's why the Germans say that. Nine, nine, nine. Get out, deny, nine, 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 nine. Get out. This says fright in the reverse, and the denial card says, I acknowledge my fear, but I replace it with the insight of awareness. So this high priestess is aware and cutting ties with the Five of Swords, these people who've been bringing conflict to her. The Empress is handling the trauma bonded mask wearer, restoring whatever she's got going on from this devil, getting free of that devil. This mask wearer is desperate because she's not triggered, which means whatever magic they did is coming back on them, and they've got something in the head and there's death. So I don't know what they did, but it could end like that. King of Cups. So he's emotionally balanced. He's financially disciplined, and the Emperor is here and with regarding the structure, and they're dealing with a bitch who is found it amusing to move against somebody who has earned merit. They don't have any courage. They're afraid. They tried to screw around with goodness and moral, a moral human, a good, kind, moral human. They did it for entertainment. They've lost their opportunity. There could be a King of Swords here who's lost their opportunity and is seeing the truth. And then we got Simp is positive. There's something that's positive here. There's a natural disaster. Health in the reverse. Yeah, there's something positive. This King of Swords may have gotten a positive test. They could be a simp. that does the most for somebody who cares the least. They made a bad investment. There's the Queen of Swords here too, who's disappointed and in extreme regret. They're in an unfriendly, hostile attitude. They're being rejected for the history of what they have done. They are not seen as a legend. They don't get to write the new story. There's no legend. They couldn't take out a legend. They weren't able to overcome a legend. Your hard work has you the Chariot. And we've got a King of Wands here who's a natural leader, and we've got time. It's time. You're making a plan. We've got somebody, a prideful somebody here. They think you're a nuisance, but they feel obligated to associate with you. They're ignoring the red flags. They're very, very prideful. They're coming forward anyway because you possess gifts of the soul that benefit you and others. You're an abundant, limitless being. So the King of Wands, which is here in the recent past, and he's out there in the outgoing energy, he's still being stalked by somebody that's ignoring the red flags because he's successful. He knows that there's no greater goal than to love. And they're in grief because he's leaving them alone. Wow. He has grown in consciousness and awareness. He's in service to the people, and they have failed against him. He's free. And there's forgiveness too. Maybe they want forgiveness for the adversity that they've brought. They're stressing out hard. The Empress is here, releasing, letting go of this trauma-bonded mask wearer who's trying to get in all up in her energy. They have doubt here. The Empress is like, I see you. You're being a false person. You just want the money. They're coming forward. They want to learn more, but that is a lie. So she's defending herself. She's like, no, I see who you are. Whoa. Yeah, it's the fortune. They're curious about this fortune, and so they're trying to get into this Empress's energy under the guise of being a student or something. There is a moving forward with some manifestation here. You survived, and you survived the obsessed vanity of these immature people. People are talking about you. You're an empath. You're grateful for this life and the opportunities it presents. You're a peaceful, loving person who's releasing negative energy. You're having sweet dreams. You are comfortable. And that's bringing somebody despair. They're in despair because you overcame the immature, vain people. They're in despair. You could have a new love here, or you might have a new surprise love, or there's a Page of Cups that you are detaching from, gaining your freedom from because they're a devil. You got a new beginning here. Somebody's desperate that you're not triggered, and they're getting nutty in the head, and there's death. This mask wearer, this trauma bonded mask wearer is desperate that you're not triggered. You know, they did something to fight with you, and there's death. King of Wands overcomes challenges of the history. His opportunity was delayed by a vampire who wants to apologize, a vampire enemy who wants to apologize because they're experiencing a loss due to this King of Wands discipline. They were bringing him conflict, and now they're in a nightmare because he has learned to say no to date night. He has controlled his feral tendencies, and they're protesting about it. They're protesting. They're probably trying to make him feel some kind of a way because he won't go give them his bodily fluids or interact energetically with them. He's learned to say no to date night. But boy, they're still out there. These prideful people are all over him, man. Look, he's got a sweetheart here. Somebody's protesting. He could be a sweetheart, or he's thinking about a sweetheart. He's saying no to date night because he's got a sweetheart on his mind. She might be a high priestess who is divorcing these Five of Swords energies, who are bringing conflict. Yeah, and they're trying to come in and say, hey, I'd like to learn more. And she's like, go get effed. She's not afraid. And she's replacing fear with the inside of awareness. She knows exactly what they got going on. These are just tricksters, abusers. They come in under the guise of wanting to learn more just so that they can use that information to cause more harm. Pleasure seekers. She's denying the pleasure seekers. She's like, I know what you want. I know who you are. You're a pleasure seeker. Now get out of here. You know, because she's about sacred wisdom and sacred divine connection. She doesn't want to deal with these pleasure seekers. So she's denying them. So you got the love of the King of Cups. You've got the discipline of the King of Pentacles. You've got the authority and the structure and the control of the Emperor regarding this bitch, mask wearer. Whoever did something here, this trying to fight with this Empress, they're desperate because she's not triggered. So they're dealing with this little bitch who was doing that for entertainment. She doesn't have any courage now. She was coming after a good moral human, and she's not able to get the house. No house for you. You can't take the house of this person. Now, it could be that they were trying to put this person in a negative mental space, right? They wanted this person triggered. They wanted them in this, all up in their head, fighting with themselves. And it just didn't happen that way. So they lost their opportunity. They missed their chance. This King of Swords knows the truth about a simp who is positive for something. There's a natural disaster for their health. We've got gift in the reverse. They don't think of it as a gift. They didn't get the gift. Queen of Swords is disappointed, in extreme regret, unfriendly and hostile, getting rejected due to the history of what they did to this legend. They weren't able to take out a legend. This legend is the King of Wands here, and he's connected to this high priestess, Empress. Sweetheart. Oh, they're going to prison. They're going to prison. Oh yeah, they're unfriendly, all right. This King of Wands has been working with high standards. He's controlled his intimate energies. He's thinking about this sweetheart. He's stopped dating people, and they're in protest. They can't delay his stuff anymore. These enemies of his, these vampiric enemies. He's on schedule. He's making plans here. And somebody feels they don't like him. They feel that he's a nuisance, or he doesn't like somebody he feels is a nuisance. We've got somebody either ignoring red flags, or there aren't any red flags. We've got pride here. Somebody who's prideful is ignoring the red flags, and they want to associate with this King of Wands because they need what he has. He's on schedule. He's in this chariot, or he's soon to be in this chariot. He's got this sweetheart on his mind, but you got somebody up there wanting to get on board that chariot with him. He's innocent. There could be a child. He may have a child with somebody. A prideful nuisance. Or it's somebody who's feeling obligated to be in his energy because he is innocent, and they could cover themselves in that energy. Take it as it resonates. What else is going on with that? What's going on with that? So the Empress is here. She's got a fortune. She's standing up for herself. She's letting go of this trauma-bonded mask wearer who's trying to come in and act as though they're a student. She's releasing this person. There are doubts. she knows this person wants to come in and grab a hold of that fortune. It's just a ploy. It's a mask word. They're pretending to be curious. They're actually trauma bonded to somebody and wants to screw around. Or they are in having doubt because this Empress has overcome a trauma bond with self-love, gratitude, peace, care. Somebody's in despair that she has overcome and survived their attempts, their obsession. She's manifesting something as an enterprise. It could be overseas. It could be worldwide. Something. She could be an influencer. They're in despair over this new chapter that she's in. They were trying to delay the new chapter of this Empress, but she overcame them with self-love, with gratitude, with peace. Somebody's getting the news. Somebody's receiving a message. Somebody is curious how you released your thoughts from this devil, how you've got control over yourself and your life. How you got this new beginning, this new chapter that's right here. They're desperate because you're not triggered. And this soldier is getting nutty in the cabeza, and there's death here. This is over. There's death. You overcame them. And there's forgiveness. They may want forgiveness, or you might be forgiving, or maybe you've got forgiveness, but I think that maybe you're releasing it. You're letting it go. You're forgiving it. You're standing up for yourself, and you're like, you know what? I don't want to mess with you anymore. So you're just kind of letting it go. King of Wands is there, overcoming challenges of the history. His history was delayed. He had a delayed opportunity here. He's very disciplined. He can accomplish whatever he sets his mind to. This vampire enemy wants to apologize because they are suffering loss. They're feeling the loss of this King of Wands. This is a very passionate fellow who was once feral. This vampire made mistakes. They wish they could right their wrongs. They were bringing conflict to him, and now they're in a nightmare because he's learned to say no to dating. He's not giving them his semen anymore. He's learned to say no. He's managed his feral tendencies. They're protesting this sweetheart that he's got on his mind. He's in a soul tie with a sweetheart, and these ones are protesting it. He won't date them. He won't sleep with them. So the High Priestess is like divorcing these Five of Swords people. They are defeated. They're like, hey, I see something inside of you I admire. I'd like to learn something. And she's like, bah, freaking goo, get out of here. There's no paranoia. She is denying these pleasure seekers. She's like, no, she's not afraid to deny these pleasure seekers. She's like, get out of here. Get up. Go away. I'm divorcing you out of my energy. You're not here to learn anything except how to pretend to be me or how to get one over on me, and I'm not dealing with you, pleasure seeker. Get out of here. She's divorcing the pleasure seekers who have who have abused people for so long or abused her. Guilty. She's not guilty. She's not afraid. She doesn't have anything to be afraid of. They tried to frame her. And these pleasure seekers are receiving a denial. The love of King of Cups, the discipline of King of Pentacles, the structure and authority of the Emperor is dealing with this bitch who's been coming after good moral humans for entertainment. They don't have any courage, this bitch, and they're not getting the house that belongs to this good moral human. Unsatisfied? They're not satisfied with that. There's they made a bad investment. It looks like this King of Swords made a bad investment. He's seeing the truth of that. He did not get the gift. He's a simp. Doing the most for somebody who cares the least. There's a positive test result, it looks like. There's a natural disaster for the health. This person was in it for the money. Their health is out. They're sick. The Queen of Swords is here, disappointed and in extreme regret for being unfriendly, for being hostile. They're getting rejected for the history of what they've done to this legend. They were not able to overcome this legend, and they're facing prison time. They're in a prison now. They're in a prison. They're locked away from responsible families. They can't mess with it. They can't mess with it. They have to accept responsibility for what they've been doing to families, or to this King of Wands family. And I don't know if he's here with the Empress or with the High Priestess, or if the Empress High Priestess is one and the same, or if it's a King of Wands, King of Cups, King of Pentacles, and an Emperor here, all dealing with these little bitches. You got a Queen of Swords and a King of Swords here that are in disappointment. They're sick. They're hostile. They were coming after this King of Wands and his lady, his sweetheart, that he's in a soul tie with. So the hard work gets you the Chariot, King of Wands. You're on schedule. You're innocent here. And we've got daydreaming. You might be daydreaming of having a child. Somebody, you got obligations. It could be that there's no red flags. It could be that you have an obligation. There's no red flags. We've got pride. You have an obligation to remove the dangers, or the red flags, those things that you have to be wary of, those dangerous things that prideful people bring about. It's like you're obligated to remove the red flag of pride. You're on schedule. You're innocent. There's a child here. You might be daydreaming of longing for somebody, this sweetheart with an irreplaceable love. Yeah. And the shadow side is missing you. They're feeling your absence, or maybe you're making the shadow side absent. You're getting rid of the red flags, the dangers. You're obligated to get rid of the dangers of pride. Maybe that's your thing. These prideful people have missed their opportunity and are feeling, are hurting from the damages that they have caused. They've been found unworthy, and they're in regret. This is an unexpected outcome. They didn't appreciate the beauty that was brought to this world, and this reflection sabotaged themselves. They're not the real deal. They're a pretender. The truth is revealed. You know who your true blue is. You're reunited, and you want to have a conversation with them. There's a lot of mental mess going on, this pretender, this trauma bonded person. They have skills, and they're messing with people's minds, and they're trying to interfere still and delay still the opportunity for this King of Wands, this High Priestess, and Empress. He's got the support of the King of Cups, the King of Pentacles, and the Emperor. They're all here, and they're causing people's knees to go weak. So the Empress is here. She's got a fortune. She's standing up for herself, and she's releasing the trauma-bonded mask wearer who is curious, wants to learn more. She's like, go love yourself. Just go love yourself. Go away now. Go love yourself. And she's being fierce about it. She's like, out of my space. She's battle ready, and she's armed with love. She has got a wealth of love. She loves herself. She's like, this is my life. I love my life. I want to live my life. I'm a freaking Empress. I mask wearer, she says. So she's moving forward in this new chapter. She's manifested it here. She has overcome and survived the brutality of these mask wearers, of these pretenders. They are in despair. People are talking through the grapevine about this empath who loves themselves, lives life with gratitude. They're a peaceful, loving person. They're sleeping well. They have no nightmares, and they're tired. They're emotionally exhausted from dealing with these little twits, and she deserves a break. They're in despair about it. These childish people are in despair about it. So you could have new love, or there's somebody that's just curious about how you gained your freedom from this devil and got your new beginning. They're desperate because you're not triggered. There's stubborn in the head. This soldier is. They could be death. There's forgiveness. They want forgiveness. Broke. But they want forgiveness for breaking all of their promises. And it could be that you're not interested in hearing it. The King of Wands is here, overcoming challenges of the past. This vampire delayed his opportunity. He's a very disciplined person who can accomplish whatever he sets his mind to. This vampire enemy wants to say, I'm sorry, they're experiencing loss. They made mistakes. And we've got ruins. Everything that does not serve you, King of Wands, is falling away to make room for the love that you deserve. They were bringing you conflict. They're in a nightmare because you say no. You've learned to say no to date night. You've overcome your feral tendencies when it comes to date night. And these people are in protest because you've got this sweetheart in a soul tie with you. You're always feeling connected to this sweetheart. They're messing with it. They're in a crazy drama. They're all stuck in this crazy drama and they're having a protest. You've got the High Priestess here divorcing the Five of Swords people, this abuse. She's cutting it out, leaving it behind. She's telling these people who want to learn from her to go get effed. She's not guilty of anything. She has no reason to fear, and she's denying these pleasure seekers. She's like, I'm not teaching you jackwagons anything. They got caught up in a whirlwind. They didn't see this coming. She's like, I'm not teaching you squat. Go get effed. Get out of here. You want to grow? You're going to go grow on your own. Go learn from the hard knocks. Get out of here and go suffer the hard knocks yourself. You're not going to be sucking off the teat of this High Priestess. They got a long way to go before they find what they want. They did not get the house of this High Priestess. Things are very, very hard. They're going to go learn to become a diamond. If you want the stuff of a High Priestess Empress, then you have to go become that. You can't just fake it till you, because you'll never make it if you're faking it. But we do have a King of Swords here who lost their opportunity, and he's seeing the truth of it. He does not have the gift. He's a simp who did a whole bunch for somebody who cares the least. Did the most for somebody who cares the least. There's a positive test here. His health is upside down. He's in a natural disaster. He did it for the money. Whatever he did, tangled up a whole bunch of flames, or maybe he's tangled up in this mess. He can't get out of it regarding these flames, regarding these gifts. The Queen of Swords is in disappointment. We've got extreme regret. They're unfriendly. They're having a hostile attitude. They're in withdrawal, or they're being rejected because of what they did to responsible families in the past. They're not a legend. They're going to prison. Ooh, never-ending prison. Never-ending prison. They're at an eternal prison. Ooh, they're hostile. They're going to an eternal prison. Your hard work, King of Wands, got you the Chariot. You're on your schedule. You're thinking about a child. You're daydreaming about somebody. It could be your sweetheart that you're in a soul tie with. There's an obligation here to remove the red flags of prideful people. It's a very rocky road for you. These prideful people who make people's life paths rocky, you're obligated to remove those red flags. Oh, we've got leaving. We've got leaving. They're leaving and grieving, or you're leaving and they're grieving. These people who are playing games with love are going at a distance. They're going far, far away. It could be that whatever you're obligated to do with these prideful people who make life difficult for others, you're removing that red flag. And it could be that you're delivering them to some faraway place for playing games with love, for causing struggle for others and neglect. They didn't support anybody. It could be that they're going to struggle and receive neglect for, what they did. I'm going to pull one of these big ones. One final card. What the heck? You gotta protect your heart. I'm really glad to hear that this King of Wands has got control of his feral instincts regarding date night. That's good news. Especially if you're this sweetheart in a soul tie with him. That's good news. Belonging and a spiritual quest. This Empress is on a spiritual quest. And let me see this. You are called to realize your full potential and to choose to become a force for good in the world. And that is what this Empress is doing. And she's releasing the mask-wearing, trauma-bonded people who are curious and want to know more. She's like, get out of here. Because they're not interested in being a force for good in the world. They're not interested in that. Learn to find security from within, the belonging, the self-love. So, yeah, these mask wearers, she's releasing them. They're in doubt. They don't know what to do. She's not supporting them. She's not going to teach them anything. The high priestess isn't teaching these people nothing. She's like, get out, pleasure seeker. You're not using me to go F the world over. So you've got a new chapter here. It could be you're moving forward with some sort of an enterprise. It may be some sort of an influence. Maybe you're sharing how you survived immature, vain, obsessive little jackwagons. People are talking about you. You're an empath. Whew, you have an attitude of gratitude. You're thankful for this life and the opportunities it presents, even the challenging ones. You're a peaceful being of love, and you're comfortable here, but you're tired. You deserve a break from this. You've got a new chapter here, and we've got courage. So you're very courageous. Maybe these ones are challenged because they need to go find courage. And then we've got splendor here. So for your courage, you could be receiving some sort of splendor. Seek and honor the beauty and splendor that is within and around you. So, that's where you're at. You love yourself. You've come to love yourself and value yourself. It could be that the whole world tried to tell you that you were nothing. And here you are, a whole Empress, high priestess, surrounded by trauma-bonded mask wearers, trying to F with your mind. The warmth of your open heart can give comfort to all who cross your path. And they don't want people to be comforted. They want people in this trauma energy. You could have new love coming your way, or people are curious about how you got your freedom from this devil. You've got a new beginning here. They're desperate because you're not triggered. They're stubborn, and the base of this soldier is, and there's death here. They want forgiveness for breaking their promises. We've got cultivation, number 37. Cultivation, which is listening to music can heal, encourage, and nurture your soul. Shifting your energy. So you've learned to shift your energy. You've learned about the shifts in energy. You know what is yours and what is intentional by you, or what is coming in to try and trigger you. So these ones are desperate to trigger you. They're not able to do it. Instead, it's bouncing back on them, and they're getting freaking wacky in the head. You've got guidance here, number 33. Guidance is all about learning to communicate with your soul and discovering and manifesting your purpose. So these ones were desperately trying to delay your purpose, because your purpose is what? To share how it is that you gained your freedom from this energy, but you're not going to share that information with those who want to use that information to make it work next time, right? King of Wands has overcome challenges of the past. They delayed his opportunities, and he's a very disciplined person who can accomplish whatever he sets his mind to. This vampire enemy wants to apologize for delaying their opportunities because they're suffering a loss. They made mistakes, and everything that this King of Wands no longer needs is falling away to make room for the love that he deserves. He has an achievement here. He has an achievement here. He has achieved 42. He's surrounded by abundance and prosperity, luxury and quality, prestige and sophistication, value and elegance, and this vampire has lost it. They were bringing conflict to him. They're in a nightmare because he has learned to say no to date night. He has gained control over his feral tendencies, and they're protesting about this. They're stuck in a crazy drama. They're protesting this sweetheart soul tie. They're so upset. They're like, no, you come sleep with me and give me your semen. I heard a woman complaining about that he was no longer giving her his semen, so she wasn't able to do magic and to bind him with it. Divine told him that lust was going to be his downfall. And we've got personal transformation. A personal transformation. So, number 35. Your soul is assisting you with creating changes to align you with your life's purpose. So, he's becoming aligned with his life's purpose, and his life purpose is includes this connection to a sweetheart. And this sweetheart is also getting messed with. This sweetheart is an Empress, High Priestess, or one or the other. Take it as it resonates. But she's a sweetheart, and he's soul connected to her. And she's like divorcing out this Five of Swords crap, telling him to get, she's not being nice. She's not being nice at all. She's not afraid of this. She's denying these pleasure seekers, and she's doing so aggressively. This is not a game. She's not messing around. She's like, you know what? I'm not playing with you. She's tired. She's freaking tired of dealing with this. And she has divine support. These ones got caught up in a whirlwind. They could not see what was important. They could not see that the divine was here. They may not even have believed that the divine existed, that the Most High God existed. They've been getting away with this crap for centuries. Emotionally and mentally projecting their crap onto people, disrupting their homeostasis. And people just thought they were having a bad day, man. And it wasn't that at all. It was energetic manipulation, intentionally done so that they could harvest it out and feed it to these vampires. Or feast on it themselves, because they are a vampire. So you've got divine support, which facilitates a greater connection to your divine voice, which can be a source of inspiration and great wisdom in times of uncertainty or challenge. You are being guided away from fear, distress, and anguish, and towards the light and love at the center of your being. the same light and love which resonates through the vast universe and which is contained within the universal sound of Om. Consider chanting this tone or listening to a recording. So this high priestess is being assisted by the divine, and she's coming into alignment with that. She's very sacredly connected. It could very well be that she isn't this empress, or it could be that they are one and the same sweetheart that's in a soul tie to this King of Wands who has learned to say no to date night, controlling his feral desires or inclinations. There is the love of the divine masculine, the discipline of the divine masculine, and the authority of the divine masculine handling this bitch who's been coming after good moral people. Diamonds for entertainment. This person has a long way to go before they're going to find what they want. They're going to have to go become the diamond that they choose to be, that they choose to represent themselves as. They were not satisfied with the way things were going, but they're not taking the house of this good moral person. Or it could be that they're actually losing their house. It could be the house of wood or the house of flesh. Take it as it resonates. They're afraid. They messed up. This good moral person has earned a lot of merit, and they're about joy. So they're grateful for this life, what it presents. They're a being of love. They love themselves. And you got people out here that are relentlessly messing around with their homeostasis, their internal dialogue, their energetic flow, their connection to the divine, their ability, interfering with their ability to nurture themselves and their surroundings. Many flames. This King of Swords, wow. Okay, so this King of Swords made a bad investment. He's seeing the truth of it now. He did not get the gifts. His values were all about money. He was doing the most for somebody who cared the least as a simp. He has a positive test result for something. His health is upside down. He's in a natural disaster. He made a bad investment. His values were all about money. He's unable to free himself from a sticky situation. Many flames. It took many tries to try to find the right one. Many flames this person put under. And he's surrendering now. He's surrendering. His health is in the upside down state. We've got a Queen of Swords here who is disappointed and extreme regret. There's something about unfriendly and hostile. So they could be extremely in regret that they were that way, or they could be receiving this energy. The same thing that this King of Swords is. Both this King of Swords and this Queen of Swords seem to be in a hostile environment. They're getting rejected because of the history of what they have done to responsible family units. They were not able to imprison a legend, or they're not a legend and they're going to prison. It could be, that they were not able to imprison a legendary responsible person. And it looks like this prison is never ending. They're going to be in there forever. This is eternal. I guess this was the final battle, the final countdown. This is eternal stuff. Eternal love or eternal whatever, I don't know. Innocence. Look, man, they're not a legend. They're not seen as a legend. They're going to prison. They're being rejected because of the history of what they have done to innocent, responsible families. Oh. Many, many stars tangled in a web. Many flames for money. We've got the Eight of Pentacles here. So you've got a lot of potential. You've been working real hard, King of Wands. You've mastered yourself. You've working with high standards. Overcoming your challenges. There's a schedule here. There's a child. You may be daydreaming of having a child. You may be longing for this sweetheart that you're in a soul tie for. You have an obligation to remove the red flag, the danger that these prideful people are bringing, making life difficult for others. You have an understanding here of the drive or how to drive. So these ones have been driving the experiences of others into the ground, man, by manipulating their energy and their mental body, by destroying their families with dreams of infidelity and then sending in a Jezebel or a Gigolo, an incubus or a succubus, a vampiric entity. This is what they do for profit. And you have an understanding of that. And it could be that it is your responsibility to drive them. I guess maybe it might be your responsibility to give them this rocky road, to drive them down a rocky road. Maybe that's what you'll be doing. Somebody said the other day as I was chopping wood, and I heard some youngers say, toil and labor, as I was like, man, I was working my tail off, splitting wood and stacking it and all that good stuff. And then I heard somebody say, it's my job to pull them out of their comfort zone. So it could be this King of Wands duty, obligation to remove the red flags, to remove the dangers of these prideful people by driving them in a rocky situation, by taking away their comfort zone, by showing them what it means, by allowing them to understand what it means to actually work for a living, to be responsible for self. To gain an insight on what it means to earn blessings. You're protected. You're protected. And the priorities here are to come back into wholeness, to bring about wholeness, right? No more imbalance. To concentrate, to be steady in the mind. To be steadfast, steady, settled, consistent, and empowered with a childlike expression, innocent, even through all the adversity. That's what I have for you, everybody. I hope that this brings clarity to something that you already intuitively knew, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.